I've warned you all before, this CZ thing is getting out of control. It's an addiction, an affliction, and I don't think there's a cure. The best way to keep yourself safe is not even to pick one up, because more than likely if you shoot a CZ handgun just once, you'll be hooked. This addiction may not physically hurt you, but there will be pain nonetheless. It will leave your bank account on life support as you uncontrollably continue down the CZ firearm rabbit hole. It'll start off innocently enough with a P-07 and then escalate to other more expensive CZ-75 variants. You'll have to pick up a Scorpion, then a Bren. Then you'll find yourself watching CZ bolt gun videos on YouTube at 3 in the morning thinking that's what I really need, when really the last thing that you need is another bolt gun just because it says CZ on the side. There should be a Surgeon General's warning on the box. You should just stay away. But if you've already been infected, check out my latest stop down the CZ firearm rabbit hole, the CZ SP-01 Tactical from the CZ Custom Shop. The CZ SP-01 is a slight improvement over the CZ-75 that borrowed pretty heavily from the Browning High Power. That was the last gun John Browning had a hand in designing, who also designed the 1911. With a heritage like that, it's easy to see why the SP-01 is such an impressive gun, and could almost be thought of as a very refined evolution of the 1911. For those that don't know, the SP-01 slightly differs from the more traditional CZ-75 in that it has a full-length dust cover with an integrated 1913 accessory rail, and was developed in conjunction with NATO. This gun definitely fits the bill for full-size duty weapon and truly military grade. The CZ-75 is also one of the most copied platforms of all time, and you know what they say about imitation, it's the most sincere form of flattery. This is an SP-01 Tactical, meaning that it has ambi-decockers instead of a safety. It's also an urban gray model, indicating that it comes fully suppressor ready with a threaded barrel and suppressor height night sights. The SP-01 is an amazing suppressor host. The extremely tight quality fit makes the gun ridiculously quiet. The slide and frame just glide in action, and there's no slop at all that can create extra noise when shooting suppressed. Also, the SP-01 is exceptionally reliable suppressed, running every kind of ammo that we could find with no issues. This gun will even run the Hush 165 grain, which is an extremely quiet ammo, however many platforms won't run it reliably. Not a problem for the CZ SP-01. This gun really doesn't help me at all with my other recent disabling affliction I've acquired, suppressors. You really don't want to have these problems. The fact that the SP-01 comes with not only the threaded barrel but also the suppressor height sights is so nice, and for some reason other companies always seem to forget the sights to go with the threaded barrel. The one thing that I can't stress enough is just how pleasant this thing is to shoot. A key design feature of most CZ pistols is the fact that the slide rides inside the frame with full-length rails. This does a couple of things. It gives the gun a much lower bore axis, making felt recoil less, allowing you to get back on target quicker. The full-length rails also gives the gun a very tight, quality feel with no slop or play in the action, which has to help with the accuracy a little. Coupled with the deep beaver tail that lets the gun sit very low in the hand, and the gun having just the right amount of weight from the all-steel frame, adds up to an extremely shootable gun that makes the recoil virtually non-existent. The SP-01 also has the amazing grip contours that the CZ75 is so known for. This grip is extremely comfortable and just molds to your hand. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a handgun with a more comfortable grip. All of this makes it easy to see why these guns are one of the top choices of competitive shooters everywhere. The SP-01 features a 5.21-inch cold hammer forged barrel that should be able to take all the abuse you can dish out. It has front and rear slide serrations that work really well, along with a serrated rib across the top between the sights. This serrated rib is supposed to break up glare, but that's never really been a problem for me, but a nice touch nonetheless. Let's talk about these sights for a second. They are a very nice 3-dot setup, and as I said before, they are suppressor height. They also have tritium inserts in them, so they will make really great night sights as well. These are some really excellent sights right out of the box, and I wish that more manufacturers would take a note of what CZ has done here. Now that I've officially picked up the suppressor affliction, one of my pet peeves is a so-called suppressor-ready gun without suppressor height sights. I wish that more companies would have true suppressor-ready setups, like the CZ suppressor lineup. I've already said that the grip is excellent, and it does have these nice little checkered areas on the front and back strap to give you just a little bit more grip. There's also a beveled magazine well to aid in reloading, the metal 18+1 round magazines giving you plenty of capacity, because when a gun is this enjoyable to shoot, who wants to stop for reloads? This particular Urban Grey SP-01 also came from the CZ Custom Shop, and I know that they worked on the trigger because it's a huge improvement over the already very good one that these guns have stock. The biggest improvement being the reset. It's pulling in single action about 3.5 pounds and a little over 8 pounds in its silky smooth double action. The reset, as I've already said, is extremely short, authoritative, and perfect. I looked on the CZ Custom website while I was putting this video together, and at least currently they aren't offering this exact model. I really don't know if they did anything else other than the trigger work, but if these test targets are any proof, you can see that the Custom Shop earned their money. The accuracy out of this gun is absolutely phenomenal, as all CZ guns are, but this one might take it up a notch. I can say that I'm extremely happy with the performance, and the few hundred extra dollars I spent getting the Custom Shop version, I feel was money well spent. We've been shooting this gun for almost a year now, with a round count that has to be in the 2,000 round ballpark. To be honest, we just haven't got a review done because we've had such a good time shooting it. Reliability has been exceptional. I wouldn't expect anything less from CZ. I did clean it once after it passed the 1,000 round mark, and that was just because it was getting gunked up from shooting it suppressed so much. This, at least currently, is my favorite pistol. It's an absolute blast to shoot, it's exceptionally reliable, usually far more accurate than the person shooting it, has superior ergonomics, and is truly suppressor ready. The only thing I could even come close to complaining about is the weight. You're probably not going to conceal carry the SP-01, but as a range gun, or for home defense, or really anything other than a concealed carry, this really has to be about as close to perfect a gun as you could find. So what's next up on my personal trip down the CZ rabbit hole? Well, I said the SP-01 was a tad heavy, so let's see what a Phantom is like. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know, I hear all the time that my gun shop doesn't carry CZ and CZs are so hard to find and everything else. Let me tell you about one gun shop that does carry CZ, Nichols Outfitters. They have a huge selection of CZ firearms, and that's where I get all of my CZ firearms. If you're in the market for a CZ, you really need to go by and check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to help support Alabama Arsenal, the best possible way to do that is to click the links in the description. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. That's the best possible way to keep up with what we're doing and know about the projects we're currently working on. If you like the video, go ahead and hit like. Be sure to share it on your social media, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching.